Has anybody, I'm guessing a lot of you have received a branded gift in the past? Or
Something, yeah, and when you walk around the show you will have received a gift, yeah? So I thought what would be interesting is, just before I go on to my top 21, is to give you a little bit of a snapshot about why branded merchandise is effective. So let's just talk about a few different ideas. First of all, you've got gifts with multiple usage. So the calculator and ruler that you see at the top right hand corner could also be used as a calendar as well. And it's a fair analogy that the more useful a promotional item is, the more likely your recipient is going to keep it. And the great thing about promotional gifts is that you're going to put your brand and your message on there. And that's exactly what you want them to do. You want them to remember you consistently all the time. You can also, with the growth in digital printing, you can personalize them. So if you've got 50 target customers or 100, yeah, you can put their name on every single specific product. So if you're sending them a calendar, you could have every one different, which is absolutely perfect. So if you've got something with your name on it, you're more likely to keep it. Shareability and conversation. Think about something that you've received that's really quanky and different and unusual. What do? You talk about it. Can you believe you can have a fresh rose personalized with your logo on it? Yeah, absolutely, really superb. Also, branded gifts can be very inexpensive. You can spend only a few pennies, not very much. And there's more. They can be engaging. You can touch and feel them. We know that the desk area around somebody's desk is the biggest use for a promotional item. Also, if it's more expensive, the likelihood that people will keep it for longer. So let's just think about a digital photo frame. If you're going to give somebody a digital photo frame, say for example you've done a golf event or something and you've got all of the photographs of that uploaded, and you give somebody, perhaps if you're trying to target some higher end people, you know, directors or that type of people, and all you need to do is do 10, 15, 20 of them. Those are the sorts of things that really do stand out. And then of course you've got different mediums in which you can give these gifts, whether it's in person, through direct mail, or as part of an event. And then lastly, here's a few other items. Who remembers the PG Tips campaign with the little monkey? Yeah? Great little idea, and it was obviously linked to purchase. So you bought the pack from the supermarket and you got a free monkey. What about the Churchill nodding dog? Oh yes, you remember that? How many people have seen that in the back of a dog, in the back of a car? What's the other big one is the Compare the Meerkats. Now over 1 million of those dolls have now been given away as part of that campaign. So what you've got is something very, very simple but related to your brand. And let's not forget the personal impacts and impressions that your brand is being created by a product. Now I used to work in the drinks industry for a company called Bournemouth Cider. I've still got to this day those bottle opener key rings. You know, I left that company nearly 15 years ago and I've still got it. Albeit the name of the brand has gone, I've still got it. So the association is very important. How many adverts can you remember? Yeah? Can you remember 10, 15 of them? How many, you know, do you keep those emails that you've long gone? Yeah? That's what I'm saying. So, here's a bit of research we did in 2007, and we wanted to find out what were the items that people keep on their desk, and these were the top 10. Now, what do you notice about those top 10 items? Anybody? Do you know what? They're everyday items. And you know what? They're things that people use and keep. So sometimes it's really important to make sure if you're using a promotional item, think about the things that people are going to be using. And the top 3 reasons why people keep them is the more useful they are, the more memorable they are, or the higher the value. And the results of the survey were quite overwhelming. 92% of people believed that by having a branded item, it affects their overall brand awareness. And 76% of people could name that company without having to refer to them. And the thing that's really important for all of you is over half of them subsequently went on to purchase. Yeah? So it's a very, very effective advertising medium. And this was some of the few slides now just on the research that we did last year, which was aimed at recipients. In other words, people like yourself that have received branded gifts. And I have to tell you that the top two product categories that marketeers procure are pens and bags. Pens and bags. Listen to what I've just said, pens and bags. However, when you ask recipients about what they want, it's a slightly different story. So the most popular item in terms of somebody receiving a gift is a USB stick. Sorry, just to remind everybody, those of you that are going to stay the course for the presentation, I'll give you a copy of this presentation and a free gift. Not that I'm trying to incentivize you. Now, as I said earlier, cost per impression. We're looking at, and if we start to compare it with other mediums, promotional branded gifts are very, very effective. So, another question we asked the recipients was, think of all the promotional items you have received, which one have you kept the longest? And I'm sure there's somebody in the room that still has got a promotional mug of some sort. Yeah? Who has? What? I'm sure there are others. Okay. So, think of the promotional item which that you find most useful. Why do you keep them? And of course, it is 81% by a mile because it's useful. And how long do they keep them? Well, the average is just under 3 years. That's a very long time. Day in, day out, your brand is being seen in front of your target customer audience. Okay, now I've just given you an overview on merchandise. I'm going to really talk to you a little bit about how you can stand out from the crowd. And you can do that by all sorts of ways. My first tip is being an absolute expert in your field. Yeah? And by being an expert, go along to events, seminars, if it's Chamber of Commerce, if it's a local business club, maybe it's just becoming known specifically for the area that you're trying to promote. Write blogs in magazines, and also make sure that you give a gift for the people that have bothered to turn up. And we've got you a pad and a pen on your desks. Simple gift, I know, but as I say, I'm going to give you a gift at the end of the presentation. So my second tip is face-to-face selling. Yeah. Now the difficulty we've all got some of the time is getting appointments with our target audience. People are really, really busy. So how do you do that? Well, you do it in all sorts of ways by making sure that you leave the right impression. So you can actually now have if you're going to make a laptop presentation, you can have a skin over your computer, make sure that you've got a conference folder, even a business card. Who's got business cards already? Yeah? A business card tells a lot about you. A very simple thing to do is turn over your business card. How many of you have got white space on there? Yeah? Now, a lot of us have. It's a very, very simple thing to do, but there'll be more people receiving a business card from you than any other form of advertising. So really make the most of that. And I must admit, there's some really creative things that you can do with a business card, like even putting a customer testimonial on the back of your business card. Yeah, doing something really creative. There's a company that I noticed that was called Bite Promotions, and had actually taken a bite out of the business card. So when they gave it to somebody, it had a big chunk out of the card. Inventive but different.